The San Francisco 49ers, 19-32. Matt, what was your takeaway? Do we want to do it by topic, or do we want to just like big lump sum of like word vomit?
I think the first thing that everyone's going to go to is the run defense. And that to me stood out as their major negative. That was a surprise, especially after we found out that Christian McCaffrey wasn't going to play in this game. I think the reaction was, oh my God, the Jets are going to be getting a break here. And then they got ran on for days. It was horrible. They weren't able to stop the run, whether it was the defensive line not getting the necessary penetration, or not sealing the edge, or the guys in the secondary missing tackles. To me, that was the biggest surprise. And I think the first thing that stands out as a negative in this one, and not crazy surprise that they lost, just that it wasn't more competitive for me.
Yeah, I got the feeling like for most of the game, I would say probably until they scored the touchdown after half, I would say I felt like we had a shot. Like we were just always kind of hanging around. And I didn't get the feeling that we were just totally outmatched. Like obviously in the run game, it did feel like that. No Christian McCaffrey, you got to figure out a way to stop that rushing attack, especially when like Trent Williams didn't have an entire camp. You got the rest of the offensive line that I was told we should be able to do some damage on. This is a good defensive line, and we couldn't figure it the hell out. So really, really frustrating there. Look, I don't know. I think with Rodgers healthy, it gives me hope that we could be in any game as long as it's like reasonable. I think once we got down by 3 scores late in the fourth quarter, them pulling Rodgers just made all the sense in the world. Don't risk his health in a game that's already lost. But did you have a similar feeling? Like, did it feel like we were still kind of in it, or like maybe I'm asking from like the eyeball test. Like it felt like the stuff that was wrong with the game yesterday, at least from like Brees fumbling the ball and Lazard dropping the first third down and the tipped interception. Like it all felt like stuff that could be cleaned up and isn't going to be necessarily lingering issues. I mean, maybe aside from the run defense.
Yeah, it felt like they beat themselves. And well, what I'm going to say is that they beat themselves in some areas. I don't want that to sound like I'm discrediting the 49ers, because they're a really damn good football team. I think they're the best team in the NFC. I think they showed that last night. But the point that I was trying to make, and that I will make here now, is that in order to beat a team like San Francisco, you have to win the turnover battle. You can't, have a fumble from Brees Hall, a tipped interception, a drop on third down. Like you need everything to break right for you. And that wasn't happening, on top of them not being able to get off the field on third down defensively. So to me, it's a mix of both, but I hear what you're saying. Some of the things, yes, it does seem correctable, but to me, still frustrating nonetheless, because like major opponent, they want to prove that they're, capable of winning a Super Bowl, and then didn't really look all that competitive against elite competition. Like a little bit of a red flag. Not saying like I'm hitting the panic button or I'm bailing. But I think we could still be frustrated with the effort that we saw.
Yeah, I think it's totally fair to be critical. I saw people upset with Saleh, some of the coaching decisions. Like, I don't understand why we didn't see Mike Williams at all, unless he just doesn't have a grasp on the playbook and they're, just saying, hey, Lazard was in this offense for years. He just knows it. It's better to trot him out right now, which, hey, to his credit, had like 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, actually had himself a pretty decent game after that drop pass. But no Conklin getting involved. No Braylon Allen in the short yardage situations. Just sort of, I don't want to play Monday morning quarterback, because obviously you want to have, Brees with the ball in his hands and you expect him to be able to get that yard. But like, it also felt at the same time like Braylon was like really tough at getting that short yardage, and it seemed like a misuse of assets.
No, it did. You can't have Braylon Allen didn't get a run until that final drive when they took, Aaron Rodgers out and put Tyrod Taylor in. Like, the Jets, and Saleh does it, but just this whole regime, pretty much outside of Sauce Gardner, they take their time with these rookies. They bring everyone on so slow, and I get that, and I was kind of expecting it with some guys on this roster. Like Malachi Corley played 1 snap in this game. That wasn't crazy surprising just based off past history. But if you're going to roster Braylon Allen as your second running back, which I don't have any gripe with them doing, I think he's more than capable at it. He has to touch the ball or at least the field before the final drive. Like it was all Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. No one really touched the ball until the late in the third quarter for other than those two guys. And I get it. Like I want those two to be the focal point of the offense, but it just felt way too predictable early on in the game. And I agree with you. The personnel decisions were a little confusing to me.
What's up, guys? Matt O'Leary from Talkin' Jets. If you liked that video, please make sure to subscribe and follow for more New York Jets content.